Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Today we're talking about Dr. Phil. Just dropped an episode about family vlogging. He brings a couple of people on, they try to justify their life. He gives them some information about the exploitation and dangers of this, and let's see what they have to say about it.
You just come running by.
So I like Dr. Phil. Okay, he takes good stances on a lot of things. He's pretty balanced. He's probably right in the center politically. He is taking a stance recently against a lot of things and being more vocal about it all. I think he's kind of done giving an F about a lot of things. And so I've been following him on that journey. And this video is going to be pretty good. Should kids be monetized? We asked both sides. And so let's take a look at this video. It's 18 minutes. Let's take a look at it.
It's a lucrative business, and the demand for daily content has fueled the family vlogging trend.
A day in the life of family influencers is just like yours. We just have cameras.
Yeah, his hair. It's not just like ours. You fake it for the camera. Before, I know this is just a little thing where they have a little video on them and they're talking about what it is. It's not just like ours. We all live real lives. You fake it for the camera and you force your kids to do it as well.
Kids definitely enjoy being on camera because we can tell how excited they get when we're filming.
Because I'm reading this thing I wrote out.
It's estimated that there are 500,000 predators active every day.
I guess like everything in life could be dangerous.
Oh my God. See, before I even get into this, here are the arguments they're going to use, okay? I've never seen this. We do this, our kids love doing it. Right? And they love when the camera's on it and blah, blah, blah. They're going to say that. They're going to say, well, there's predators everywhere. What? Can't take my kid to the park now because there's predators there? I hate these stupid arguments. Oh my gosh, I hate them all. We get to stay home with our kids and spend time with our kids, except they don't tell you that it's done working. You're forcing your children to work. What else are they going to say on here? We wouldn't be able to afford the lifestyle we lead otherwise doing this. Oh yeah, there's, the kids there's lots of people love our family and want to see them grow. We'd like to make people smile. What else are they going to say?
Just have to make sure you're aware of what's going on and take the precautions to protect them.
It's my job to read people.
Oh, I can't. I get excited with that. It's my job to read people and that bullshit lie you just said.
Today we're letting Noelle choose everything we do.
A day?
Christy Fritz. Who are these people? Let's take a look before we get into this. So Christy Fritz has and here's the thing. They went on the show because they know it's going to give them exposure and they're going to get subscribers from it, right? 2.2 million followers on TikTok, and of course it's your standard family vlog garbage. Just trash. They're just trash people. Can already tell. And if they didn't do this, if they didn't exploit kids, they'd probably wouldn't even be employable. That's what I'm saying. I must be blocked. I don't even know this lady. I'm blocked by her. That's hilarious. Okay, YouTube, let's see. Can't block me on YouTube. So they have 213,000 subscribers on YouTube. Oh, we got another family we're going to snark on? Video, most recently. November 2nd, 2023. They don't do a lot on here. How many views do they have on this channel? 128 million views. They've made lots of money on here. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she blocked me. I've never messaged her before. Anyway, there you go. So she's a pretty big deal. She thinks she is anyway.
The life of family influencers is just like yours. We just have cameras.
Did you really get this haircut to go on Dr. Phil? Is this not did you really just do that? Are you serious right now? This is the haircut you chose to be on national television?
We do everything as normal. We just film while we're going about our day. Our kids
They're reading this off a script.
definitely enjoy being on camera because we can tell how excited they get when we're filming and when they're watching back the videos that we've made. Especially our daughter.
Especially?
People ask us all the time how we shield our kids from negative comments, but they can't read, so we don't have to shield them from anything.
Neither can you, probably. Are you serious right now? So just because I can't read now, okay, no worries. What about in the future? Are you an idiot? This guy is clearly a moron.
Got the lights skating.
Ice skating?
Let's go. Okay. Our response when people tell us that we shouldn't post our children on social media is that it's our personal choice to post our kids, just like it's everyone else's personal choice whether they want to post their children or not.
Okay. But don't get upset when people call you a child exploiter, though. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people ask us if our kids benefit financially from us posting online, and the answer is yes. Our daughter has...
How? You explain it. And don't just be like, well, because we get paid, so our daughter gets to do all the fun stuff. No. Do these people look like they're going to put money away for their kids? Do they look like the type of people that are going to do that? Like, my gut instantly tells me they overspend. They probably don't even live within their means now, even though they're making lots of money. They don't put money aside for their kids.
Already shown interest in starting her own channel, so it's definitely something we want to start helping her with.
Oh my gosh. She's like 3!
Come with us to get our 4-year-old a Tesla. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos where we're buying our son and daughter extravagant things like designer bags or a Tesla, and
yeah, instead of buying your kid a Tesla who's 3, maybe put the money away for a college education. Hey, let's go to the bank together and start an RESP for our kids. Da-da-da, instead of buying them a damn bag from Louis Vuitton. You're like this is what's wrong with this industry. Okay? That these are the people that get rewarded. These stupid ass dumb morons are the ones who get paid the most money.
I'm sure you're wondering why we do this as a family. Let's talk about
money. You do it for money.
Why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas. We've made the decision to
I'm going over all those videos. I'm going to snark the living trash out of this family.
Invest in high quality items for our kids. What better age than 4 to start your skincare and makeup collection? Today.
What better age than 4 to start your skincare routine? Are you serious right now? 4? Now she's doing this obviously to piss people off. This is what I hate about Alicia too and everybody else who create rage bait videos with their children. You create rage bait with children. You want to piss off other people by using your children. Do you not understand how psychopathic that is? Do you not get that?
I took Noelle to Sephora and told her she could get whatever she wanted. Our 1-year-old baby Beans is officially a walker. So to celebrate, we decided to take him to the store and give him free range of the store and let him get whatever he wants. Get ready?
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are saving your money real good for your kids.
We need to buy our son a Rolex. Our son is finally 1, so it's time to get him a Rolex.
If you
They're lying. They gotta be lying. They better be lying.
had the money, you do it too.
No, we wouldn't. Dumb. This guy is a meth head. Something wrong with this guy.
Okay, so this is fun for y'all, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you say the children are having fun.
Yeah, they love it.
Who dressed you, dude? Are you okay?
Okay, how do you know they love it?
Yeah.
Well, our 4-year-old, she's almost 5 now. She expresses to us that she loves filming with us. She'll say, like, we should make a vlog.
No, she doesn't.
She'll watch them back. She'll ask to watch back, like, our
No, she doesn't.
long from YouTube videos. And
No, she doesn't.
so she loves it. Our son, he's only 1.5, so I guess he can't really tell us he likes it.
So then why'd you say he did? Hey? Why'd you say it?
But I'm sure he'll feel the same as our dog.
How do you know? How do you know they're going to feel the same way when they're teenagers, when their whole life is exposed and they go to school and they're like, your mom and dad look like a bunch of crackheads who are buying you, Rolexes and Teslas and stuff like that. Some kids will be like, I got a Rolex and Tesla. Your kids are going to be bullied because you guys are dickheads. That's what's going to happen.
Daughter.
Yeah. And what do you do with them that's not on camera?
The thing that we love about it is we're with our kids all the time because we do social media. So neither of us go to a regular job. So we're with our kids all day long. So when we're not filming, we're like, Noelle has a dirt bike. We go to the park. We play with them literally all day long.
Yeah, no, you don't. You're on social media blocking people. I've never even heard of these people.
Do you guys post every day?
Not every day. No, we'll film certain things. We'll plan out content, and then we'll film that. But things, not every day. No, we'll film certain things. We'll plan out content, and then we'll film that. But other days, like time with our kids, is kind of more private unless we kind of plan to do that. But then when we plan to do that, it's still fun.
I can't get over this hair. What have you done?
It's still an average day.
And you say this doesn't take away from parenting and quality time. So you still have just nuclear family time, right?
Yeah, I'd say we have more than the average person does. Like most families, the parents have to go to work. Maybe only the mom can stay home. We both stay home with our kids all day. We don't have a nanny. They don't go to daycare. So we're thankful for that.
I don't believe you.
So this is your job. This supports your family.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've got 2 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who makes up the followers?
I'd say we have mostly women, like not a lot of men watch our videos.
Yeah, but I want to know of 2 million, how many? What's the percentage? Give me a percentage, because 2 million is a lot of big number. So even if it's 1%, it's still 20,000 men watching you and your family.
And a lot of like younger, like when we're out in public, it's usually like younger, like teens, like Gen Z audience, I guess you could say, and a lot
See, hear yourself. When we're out in public, people approach us, and you think that's fine.
of moms.
Are you concerned?
This girl is so excited to go on Dr. Phil and be like, look how much we're going to get, the clout we're going to gain.
That there are men that get on these channels and watch
I would say, yeah. I mean, safety is one of the things that we take most seriously.
channels. Are you concerned that there are men that get on these channels and
Why she got this, like, I don't like her face.
watch?
I would say, yeah. I mean, safety is one of the things that we take most seriously with our.
No, you don't. And that's page, like, what is that, page 255 of the Family Vlog blog? Our safety is our main concern for our family, so we post them on the internet for strangers to watch, and then we get approached in public. Safety's our main concern, though.
Kids. Like, as a parent, safety, we care about our kids more than anything. So
You care about your paycheck more than anything. You don't care about your kids. You don't. Because this lifestyle you're leading is very dangerous for children. You do not care about. Stop saying this. I wish they would just be honest. Look, money's more important to us. The safety is secondary. And we're like, and it's well, what if something happens to your kids? Well, ask them that. What if something did happen to your kid? What if they were approached in public and were taken or hurt? What would you do?
obviously it's crossed my mind, but I've never had an instance where like we've encountered like any comments from men or anything. Like I've seen
You're lying. You're lying.
some videos where there are weird videos that people are commenting on and taking the wrong way, but I don't feel like we post that type of content where it would get taken out of context.
We like keep their privacy in mind and
Okay. Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding. We keep their privacy in mind? Do you? Why are they allowed to just say this? Like if I'm Dr. Phil right now, I'm like, you keep their privacy in mind. You have 2.2 million followers on TikTok. You keep their privacy in mind? Your whole content is about your children. How does that keep their privacy in mind? Please tell me.
don't post a lot of like overshare or anything private, you know.
Are you serious right now?
I mean,
Yeah, well, there are some studies about this with regard to children. And according to the New York Times, who did an investigation on this, there are 32 million connections to male followers among 5,000 accounts for child influencers.
Let that sink in for a second, okay? There are 32 million connections to male followers, like adult males, for 5,000 child influencer accounts. 32 million. So of the 5,000 accounts, including child influencers, and you got to think the biggest ones. You got Everly LeBrant. You got the Doherty Dozen kids. You got Weisslife kids. You got Fizz Fam. You got all the ones that I cover. Those are easily in the top 5K, right? You got these people. You got Ren Eleanor. You got Garza Crew. You got all these people in the top 5,000 easily. 32 million connections to male followers in those. That is insanity. I didn't even think it was that bad.
So there's 5,000 accounts of child influencers and 32 million connections to males for those 5,000 child influencers. What do you think about that?
They don't know what you just said. They're dumb as a bag of hammers.
I guess it's
32 million
crazy.
for 5,000.
oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
And right at this moment, these people are like, well, I guess we're taking our kids off because I didn't know that stat, and I love my children, and their safety is my number one concern. I didn't know that, so we're going to stop. Do you think these people are going to stop, or do you think they're going to double down? They're going to double down.
Because there are internet dangers. I mean, we have to consider that. 80% of child sex crimes start online. And it's estimated that there are 500,000 predators active every day.
You guys can't, please don't let that get by your brain and your ears. There are 500,000 active predators online every single day. 500,000 of them. Because that's where they go. That's what they spend their time doing. They're not just regos watching family vloggers. These guys are like, that's their entire life is gathering this stuff. And you give it to them with it on a silver platter.
On the internet.
So we take safety like at like high top concern.
No, you don't. You don't. Don't ever let a family vlogger ever say that where we take safety of our children to top concern, because you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing what you did. So stop saying that in your ugly ass sweater. Okay? You do not. It's just, you can't say it.
We don't post the same day of where we were.
That's safe. They know where you live, dude. These 500,000 predators can find out where you live in 2 seconds.
We try not to have any similar patterns of where we go, what we do.
And I guess there's predators in everyday life. Like if you're sending your kids to school, like you don't know who they're around at daycare or at school or even like at the mall. You could be walking past.
You do know if you send your kids to daycare who they're around at daycare. Yeah, you do. And you can do due diligence, too, of the people who are taking care of your children. Background checks included. This is what they say. So this is their thing. So there's predators everywhere. So let's just feed them to more predators. So you can put them in more danger. So if you're admitting predators are everywhere, cool. And there's more online, so you can put more in front of them? Are you serious? You think that's your logic you're going to use?
The predator. So I guess like everything in life could be dangerous. You just have to make sure you're aware of what's going on and take the precautions to protect them.
You're not taking any precautions, you freaking orange blob. You're not taking any precautions.
It's my job to read people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too.
Yeah, you should be, because you guys are assholes.
Yeah. No, it's my job to read people. That's what I do for a living. I've done it for 45 plus years. I'm trained in it. And a little bit of what I'm saying, you're hearing for the first time.
Yeah, because they didn't do any damn research into how dangerous this is. But they know. They know.
And I'm just curious how it's affecting you, because I'm telling you some of this, like 32 million men watching 5,000 children online. And I'm hearing the wheels turn in your head like, oh my God.
Because she's dumb as a box of rocks, and it's like there's smoke coming out of her ears.
And you're saying, well, there are predators everywhere. That's true. There are predators everywhere. But 80% of sex crimes start online. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying awareness is key. Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you what to do. Stop exploiting your children for cash. Get your kids. Why don't you guys just continue on yourselves? Take your kids off the internet. You don't need them. Here's the thing. They do need them. That's the problem, because predators are watching. They take their kids off, their view counts go down. You know why? Because there are 32 million interactions with men with 5,000 child influencers. That's why their views go down. You take your kids off, they lose their views. That's why.
Really want to be aware, right? Situational awareness is critical with your children. It's critical whether you're taking them to the beach or you putting them online or whatever.
Yeah, but you can take your kids to the beach and be aware, have your awareness and be like, I can keep an eye on my child. I know if there's a predator approaching my child, I'm like, okay, don't approach my child. I'll break your neck, right? My kids don't just go off by themselves anywhere, not especially at the mall, okay? Especially little kids, okay? But you do not know who's watching your kid or creates a relationship with your child online. You don't see it. Those are unseen predators. You have no idea.
You just need to be cognizant of these things, right? Mm-hmm. Because there are creeps out there that will look at that and in a perverse way, and nobody did anything wrong. There's nothing inappropriate about it, but there are creeps out there, and yeah, I mean, you just need to think about it and be aware of it. I'm not saying that. I
wonder why, like, you know that Dr. Phil's team probably reached out to everybody. Ren Eleanor, Garza Crew, you know he's probably reached out to a bunch of the big ones, and they're all like, no, I'm not coming on your show. Because these people are like, yeah, they get 2 million on TikTok. It is what it is. TikTok's shit. And I can't wait for TikTok to be banned. I hope for this specific reason. I know TikTok has a lot of great benefits, but for this specific reason, it's worth it. It's worth it. Half these people won't survive if shit gets canceled on TikTok. It won't. And like these people they're sitting here in the show because they think they only came on here. They didn't come on here to discuss child exploitation. They came on here because they think it's going to make them more famous. It's the only reason they did it, literally. So
you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying you need to be aware.
They are doing something wrong. They are exploiting a child. Yes, they are doing something wrong.
And sometimes, even if kids' first day of school and they show them walking up to the school and they show the school sign, now somebody identifies where they go to school, and if they get obsessed with that child, they now know where they go to school. Now it can go virtual to...
And they don't even have to see your video of where they go to school. They'll find you. It's so easy to find anybody on the internet right now. So easy. They'll find you if they want to.
Real world, it's a sad fact that we have to be aware of.
Look at the content that they're putting in loops in the background. Just tons, and there's, as he's talking to them, he's showing the stuff that they're showing.
That kind of thing. Leah Plunkett is the author of Sharenting and a Harvard law professor. Now, she says posting children too early is an invasion of privacy, and in extreme cases can lead to irreversible harm. Take a look.
Sharenting is a way for families to produce global digital entertainment with very, very few gatekeepers. A prime
Yeah, and you don't have to pay your kids anything.
example of Sharenting gone wrong is the DaddyOFive YouTube channel, such that viewers started calling in to the
Guy had his kids taken away from him, and he should be in jail.
local child protective services. I think the long-term effects of Sharenting, where you have parents setting up kids and teens to be humiliated, feel betrayed, can be lifelong and devastating. Illinois recently passed a law that protects the earnings of child influencers to
5%.
ultimately go back to the child. We need to think about share.
How does a kid learn to dance like a stripper like that? When you watch something like that and you don't get viscerally angry, there's something wrong in your brain. Some people are like, it's cute, kids to dance. Kids don't learn to dance provocatively at that age unless their mom is teaching it for the camera, for predators on the internet. That should make you very mad.
Parenting as a new stage on which child actors are appearing.
Well, Leah, thanks for being here. You say parents are robbing children of privacy and identity when they put them out there too early. So you have a problem with what these parents
I have a problem with your hair too, buddy.
are doing.
I have concerns about parents using children as actors on a global digital entertainment stage, very often without compensation to the children or appropriate safeguards in place for privacy or working conditions. I don't have a problem with parents trying to do their best for their kids and their families, and I completely respect that looks different in different households, but
Yeah, there's no respect for people who exploit children online. Zero. You don't get any. You deserve to be bullied.
do have a big problem with the global sharenting entertainment industry as a whole.
And I have a problem with getting the government involved. We got the government in too many houses, too many bedrooms, too many roles.
Too bad. I agree with Dr. Phil in that statement. Yes, too much government is bad. But when a parent can't step in and a parent can't protect their kids and they're being allowed to like have a wild west of exploitation, unfortunately, the only avenue sometimes is the government step in and lawmakers to make laws about it. That's it. I'm sorry. These kids cannot protect themselves. They are the most vulnerable of our communities. Okay? I can't even work at my kid's school unless I have a vulnerable sector check, right? And a criminal record check. I can't even volunteer. I can't be on the parent council without it. I can't volunteer at church without it. All this stuff. But these people are allowed to just do this on the internet. And these kids, again, we've seen kids almost be murdered because of this. Some kids have been murdered. And there are kids right now who are being targeted right now by predators, and those predators are waiting to take their next step. So unfortunately, because these parents can't be trusted, they have to have laws made because of it.
That bothers me about it. But the goal of what you're talking about in terms of protecting children, protecting them having to become characters, them having to work God knows how long to create videos, doing it when they don't want to do it, all of those things are clearly issues. I understand that. I just don't know. We have Coogan laws, right? We have to have teachers.
It's not good enough. Coogan laws don't protect the privacy of the children. The thing with Coogan laws and actors is those kids are acting, right? The difference between actors and kidfluencers is these kids have their entire lives on the internet. They're not acting. I mean, they're scripted to some degree, but they're not acting their lives. That is their lives. That's their home that they live in. That's the school they go to. That's their first date. That's them having their period. That's them sitting in front of their pool. That's them going on vacation with their family. They're not acting. That's their life.
On site and things like that for child actors and that sort of thing. But are you saying that there needs to be more laws, new laws, different regulations? What are you advocating?
I'm advocating for ethical, practical labor law reform to recognize kid influencers as child entertainers once we get to a certain threshold. I'm not advocating that we are sending teachers or other professionals on site into family homes. We have a child abuse and neglect, a child welfare system that is separate from child labor law that can be activated appropriately when necessary. But I do think that we need to recognize that we are well past the point where sharenting is just mom, dad, or other caregiver thinking a kiddo's cute and wanting to share it with a few folks, maybe a few hundred folks. This is a $1 billion global digital entertainment industry that needs ethical, practical labor law reform.
It needs to be stopped, actually. It does. There is no reason to have children who can't give informed consent on the internet ever. I don't care. Like there is no black and white for me. Or so there's no gray area for me. It's black and white. There is no reason to have children below the age of, let's say, 13 at all on social media being visualized on social media at all. No, there's no reason. None, zero. But the $1 billion industry wants them on there so they can advertise to parents, right? And they'll give you extra money to put your kids in advertisements. So it's money talks and bullshit walks every single time. But again, there's no gray. There is no reason, none whatsoever, that you need to have your children on the internet.
Similar to Coogan law.
I mean, to make money off of.
Yeah, now, when the Coogan laws were implemented, this area didn't even exist.
That's correct.
So it didn't take that into account. And oftentimes when we enter into contracts, or at least when I do, if I'm licensing something, I'll say this is for television, radio, et cetera, and all other mediums known and unknown, because I'm figuring by the time this gets played out, they're going to come up with something I haven't even thought about, but that's not what happened with these laws.
That's not what is happening with these laws. At this point in time, only one state, Illinois, has signed a new law into effect that does ethical, practical...
And you better believe all those family vloggers that ever lived there would be leaving Illinois.
...labor law reform for child influencers. Prior laws that related to child entertainers that are on the books in many but not all states do not cover the sharenting industry.
And how is this going to be enforced?
The way that the Illinois law would work, it is requiring not any sort of privacy rights or any sort of workplace conditions. It is about requiring... They're calling them vloggers or vlogging families in Illinois. It is about requiring an accounting and a distribution of a certain percentage of gross earnings for content that really is anchored in the child performer into a trust account to be
You know what it is. Okay, let's get on with the other thing.
Distributed to the minor upon obtaining the age of majority. The minor could bring a civil lawsuit against parents for knowingly or recklessly violating these trust requirements. But this is not...
Like buying your kid a Tesla and a purse and a Rolex?
Government overreach. This is practical, ethical accounting for a family business that is making a significant profit.
Yeah, so in order for it to hit the radar, somebody has to run up a flag, and say they got to like sue their parents or something, or it's not going to hit the radar.
That's what it looks like right now, but I should say the Illinois law has not gone into effect yet. And so we are all going to be watching and learning together to see how it evolves over time. But that's correct. We're not talking about some sort of widespread government surveillance of the family business of vlogging. We're talking about ethical, practical accounting and trusts and financial distributions to...
I can't believe that guy's here.
Child entertainers who appear on a home stage.
Yeah, got it.
Parasocial relationships happening on these apps are completely wild. But especially when it comes to strangers in their relationship to children.
You put your legs in the cup holders, and now what?
Strangers are invested in the lives of children they have no relationship to. A stranger requesting a toddler be styled in a particular style of outfit, and then the parent creates a whole video where they are dressing this toddler in the way the stranger has requested.
Can you get out?
No.
Well, tonight the question is, should you monetize your children online and post as much as you can?
No.
You would say
Hard no.
just not just no, but hell no,
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 prayer,
no,
yeah.
no, 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 no,
Hard
no,
no.
no. And you say if you're going to do it, you need to do it with some guidelines in mind. Protect the children, protect the money for the children, and protect their environment in which they're working.
I think there's a whole episode of this where he's talking to the other guests. This is just a breakdown of it. I should watch the whole thing, and now I want to.
Say that if you're setting up a sharenting business, you should set it up the way you would any other family business or any other small business. Ethical, practical guidelines.
Okay, I don't care about that.
Using generative AI tools that can help you do it the right way. And also, I think that we should be mindful that with new and emerging generative AI tools, you were talking earlier about new forms of technology, that we are about to be in for a whole lot more danger.
Yep.
And so folks should be thinking about that when they decide, is this the family business that I want for my family?
Yeah. And I think people, you guys have 2 million followers, but people don't realize before you can even monetize something on these different platforms, you've got to have like 10,000 hours of content views. You've got to have so many followers. There are certain criteria you have to reach before you can even monetize, before you can even make 1 penny. There's a certain threshold you've got to hit. So it's not like I'm just going to start doing this and start making money tomorrow. No, it's not like you make a little bit, then you make more. You got to at least hit a threshold, which is hard to get to. And the thing that worries me is people start doing radical things to try to jump those numbers up to get there. And that bothers me, particularly if it involves children. And you heard me quote some statistics earlier. And the average parent shares at least 1,500 photos by the time a child is 5 years old. And you got to think about that because, as I said, there are a lot of predators out there. And as you mentioned, Leah, with AI, if they have an image of your child, they can have that child doing anything. And then people see it and they don't realize that's not your child. Leah says even exchanging text and email information about kids is sharenting, right?
It is sharenting. It is a much less risky form of sharenting than a global distribution on a major social media platform. But in my book, literally and metaphorically, anytime a parent is sharing private information digitally about a child, that is sharenting.
And it's out there. You have to wonder how safe it is. Pictures that you're putting out there can and will get hijacked. You need to think again. Like Leah says, even if you're doing this privately, they're not that hard to get to. And you just need to be cognizant of the fact that those pictures can be misused, and even the ones that you're putting up.
All right, so I gotta watch this whole episode. Where am I gonna find that? All right, so I got the full episode now. So we just watched kind of like, I think he just cut down to the parts, but now we get to watch the whole thing. Let's watch it.
Welcome to Merit Street Media. Tonight on Dr. Phil Primetime. Post, pay, repeat. Social media isn't just for socializing anymore.
A day in the life of family influencers is just like yours. We just have cameras.
This is your job. This supports your family.
Yes. I have concern about parents using children as actors.
32 million men watching 5,000 children online.
I've never had an instance where we've encountered any comments from men.
I'm hearing the wheels turn in your head like, oh my God.
Our kids definitely enjoy being on.
Okay, so we saw this part.
I panicked. And had it not been sent to me, I wouldn't have ever known. It was terrifying. I felt like the world's worst mother in that moment.
The type of content that we started making was originally just family videos.
It got to Child Protective Services, and they came and took 2 of your step siblings out of the home.
Correct. They can't do that.
Hey, doing it. You think it was moment there.
Damn, they brought a DaddyOFive child on here. This is gonna be crazy.
Meredith found herself becoming an influencer after posting her children during the pandemic. She said she was happy with her growing popularity until one post sent her into a panic.
I never intended to be a content creator. I started making videos for my family and friends, and one of them blew up. And I went from just making videos for people I knew to having about 30,000 followers overnight. And over the next year, that progressed to about 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
About a year after I started posting on TikTok, my family and I went out to dinner, and I posted a couple Instagram stories of us. The next day, the manager of the restaurant reached out to me. She said, somebody tagged the restaurant with a bunch of photos and videos of you and the kids, and obviously I know it's not you, so I clicked on a page, and it was a page with thousands of followers covered in images of my kids. And whoever was running the page had made new identities for the kids and whole lives around them, given them new names, and had posted months and months of my day-to-day life pretending to be me and my children. And
which Meredith put on the internet, by the way. And I think like a lot of us, didn't actually realize the dangers of this. Even when I started out way back in the day, I had a video where my son and I are sitting there. He wants to get a perm, and I'm like, "Oh, this is good." I started a podcast with a bunch of dads, and we had reached out to a lot of these dads and these family vloggers to come on our show because they were dads in the influencer space. We had no idea any of this happened until the Micah Stauffer story dropped. Then I started covering it. Then I started being like, "Oh my gosh!" It didn't even evolve into like exploitation until the Micah Stauffer thing kind of blew up, and then I continued to talk about it and started waking up. I'm like, this is all bad. And so this is what happens. But as soon as you understand that it's dangerous, as soon as you realize what is really happening, that's where the rubber meets the road as a good parent. That's what happens. Meredith made this choice because something happened, and she made the hard choice to be like, okay, no more of that because of what she discovered. Now, this has been discovered by a lot of family vloggers' content has been discovered in a lot of shady areas, and none of them care. Ren Eleanor, for example, none of them care. Doherty doesn't admits James was blackmailed. Crazy pieces. Their children are being blackmailed right now and like revenge porn and everything else. It's crazy.
It scared.
And none of them will change it. They don't care.
Daylights out of me. We deleted every trace of the kids from the internet and promised to never post them again.
Good for you.
Can't trust
Good
the
for you.
internet with anything. And
see, this is a responsible parent who sees the danger and makes the choice. That makes you a good person. That makes you a good parent. So what the opposite of that is a parent who knows the dangers and doesn't change anything. That makes you a bad parent.
Especially not anything you care about. And I know now some people call it role playing. Other people call it digital kidnapping. It's just really important to evaluate why we're doing it and to take steps to keep our kids safe because you just never know who's on the other side of the screen.
Yep.
Meredith says she didn't intend on being a public figure at all. That wasn't your intent, but all of a sudden, this started gaining momentum, right?
Yeah.
And that surprised you.
Well, I think nothing prepares you for virality or where the internet takes you. So yeah, I just posted videos for my family and friends, and then all of a sudden had 100,000 followers, and people wanted more.
When they wanted more, you thought, what? Give them what they want? What was your thinking?
Well, my content for the most part was just me talking to the camera in my car. And so it wasn't ever a family vlogging channel. It was just me sort of expressing standard mother.
Look at that look she's giving
her. Stresses in a yelly format in my car. I don't know if they showed you the videos on full volume, but they're a little loud.
Yeah, no, I saw them. I turned it down. And you said a stranger created a full profile of a family with just new identities, right?
Yeah.
Take me through the moment that this sunk in with what had been done. I mean, take me through the moment that hit you. What had happened?
I was just posting, their school photos or their preschool graduation in the same way, you log onto your Facebook page and you see your friends and family photos. And I think a lot of people use social media as like a photo book.
Sure.
And I wasn't prepared. People steal my videos all the time, but I wasn't prepared for them taking pictures of my kids. And I don't consider myself like a psychotic mama bear by any means, but I panicked because I started thinking about my kids' photos on someone's phone or my kids' photos somewhere that I didn't know. Because, I don't think they're not tagging me to tell me that they took the photos. They're not saying, hey, thanks for letting me steal this photo.
And I gotta let you know, this woman's sitting on the other side of her with 2.2 million followers. Here's this woman's scary story. Likely has had the same stuff happen to her, like her photos of kids been stolen, probably, but doesn't care. This is going in one ear right with the other. They don't give a crap. You think they're gonna stop? You know how much money they make? Do you think they're gonna stop?
And had it not been sent to me, I wouldn't have ever known. It was terrifying, and I felt like the world's worst mother in that moment.
How were you violated in that moment?
I think it's just scary that I don't know. You have no idea. And I'm thankful that that page was likely run by a teenager or a young person just pretending to be a mom. But I don't know.
Were you concerned that this could jump from the virtual world to the real world?
I've definitely had instances where social media has trickled into my real life, and we've had to take precautions over the years, having a large platform in like the public figure sense to take care of ourselves and our family. And I definitely was very concerned about where it could go.
Just a quick poll in the audience. If someone did this with your children, took their photos, created identities and started role playing or pretending they were their own children, would that bother you? Raise your hand. Yeah. So it'd bother everybody.
Even the guy, the family vlogger with the dumb haircut is like, me too. You asshole! It is happening to you, probably.
I've dealt with stories about this that have gone so far as to create an entire world, an entire life, and she denied it, sitting across from the actual parents, and the way we actually got her to finally confess is she was selling a lamp on Amazon. And when we found the ad for the lamp on Amazon, this woman's children's picture were on her nightstand where she took a picture of the lamp to post it for sale. And we could see the picture of the children on her nightstand like they were her children.
That's crazy.
The whole room, the whole house.
And that's a parasocial relationship gone to one extra level. If you don't think that there are people who are following your kids because they think you're part of your family, because you might say things like, hey, welcome to the family. Or we love you, stranger. We love that you're here watching us. We love everything about you. Thanks for watching our stuff. You're part of our family. They all say that.
Full. And when you get someone going that far, you don't know that the next step isn't to actually grab the children, because the line between reality and fantasy gets blurred. Does that concern y'all that there are those kind of people out there?
Yeah, I agree. It reminds me of one time we were...
As soon as you say it concerns you, then you take your kids off the internet.
Actually, at the mall, and we were in like one of those play areas with our kids. Kids are just playing, we're having a great time, and we see this guy, and he has his little girl taking pictures of our kids. And immediately when we saw that, like, Seth went up to him, took the phone, deleted the pictures. Like, if we see something like that...
Nah, you don't get to go up and take... No, you don't get to do that. Delete pictures. Why? Why are you deleting the pictures? Right? Van Clan did this. She was so offended this guy was taking pictures of her and her daughter. You post that damn picture on the internet yourself for free for everybody to have. So this woman's been approached to the mall by some creepy guy who had his kid take pictures for him. And they went over and deleted it. And that didn't stop you from exploiting your child at that point? At that point, that wasn't a wake-up call for you? These people don't want the wake-up call. They're gonna ignore all of the dangers because they make so much money. It doesn't matter. They'll ignore the dangers. And again, you don't get to go to delete pictures. You're in a public space. You have no right to privacy in a public area. And that's what makes it so dangerous.
That happening, we contacted the police because that's creepy and weird.
Doesn't matter. It's not illegal. And you made your kids famous. You did that. Nobody would be taking pictures of your kids unless they were famous because of what you did.
If we were to see something like that, we would definitely take action. But we've never had anything like that happen.
They don't have to.
You just said it happened.
For them all, they can just do screen grabs of your children without you seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're gonna say about that? Mm-hmm. 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 The fact that they don't even answer to it. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they will. Okay, that makes me mad. These parents don't give a shit about their kids.
I guess I don't know what to say to that. I guess
exactly. You have nothing to say to that. So right now, you've been beat in your argument. You've been beat. You've been debated. He stopped you in your tracks. You can't say anything. And so what are you going to do next? What you do next matters. You now have been beaten in your logic of the safety of your children. And you have admitted it. You're admitting it to Dr. Phil and in front of the nation. And so what you do next matters. Do you think they're going to take their kids off?
I guess they could, yeah.
I guess maybe it felt more personal.
What do you mean you guess they could?
Because he was like close, like he was
yeah, we were actively seeing
you know
it.
what I mean?
You're almost getting it. Come on, haircut. You almost got it. Yeah, exactly. He was so close to you. You that was dangerous. And that's because of what you did. That's what you did to your daughter and your kid and your son. You're doing this. You're putting them in danger. You're making them famous.
Yeah.
How are they not grasping this?
Yeah, well, all these people don't live in Thailand that are doing the screen grabs. They could be 2 blocks away. And coming up, YouTube shut down
Meredith's like, you know, Meredith hates these people.
Family vlog after this mother and stepdad pled guilty to child neglect. Now, the oldest son from controversial DaddyOFive is going to talk to us.
Controversial is the understatement of the century.
Tonight, we're talking about parents who share their children on social media. And listen, it's terrible that we have to have this conversation.
It is.
But you just need to be aware of the risk and the dangers when you do that, even if your account is set to private.
Here's the thing. They are aware of the risks and the dangers, but they don't care. They don't care.
My next guest, Jake, grew up in front of cameras as part of the infamous YouTube family DaddyOFive. Now, Jake's family was getting more than 176 million views, but was ripped apart in the media and real life after viewers raised concerns about their vlogs, leading some to dub his mom and stepdad the worst parents on YouTube.
They're disgusting. Well, Ruby Frank probably took that crown away, but they're disgusting.
Stop it! Daddy, stop being a bully!
My name is Jake Martin, and I was the oldest kid from the DaddyOFive YouTube channel. The type of content that we started making was originally just family videos, and then as the channel progressed, we started getting into...
Look at that. I need you guys to take this visual in for a second. These guys are opening up this thing on camera. This reward that this guy got for exploiting children. This reward where people were watching this. And they're all like together. They got rewarded for abusing their children on the internet. Take that in.
More pranks. We posted videos every single day for 9 months.
These kids lived in hell. It's this triggering me.
Oh, it was you!
It's always a dream to be famous and be popular online, but when it really happens, it's just hard to adapt to. A YouTuber with 4 million plus subscribers had made a video, so they took all the craziest clips of everything that would seem bad and put them all into...
I don't understand his logic. They took all the crazy clips that would seem bad, and there was like 2 hours of them. So it's not like just one clip they took out of context. They put every single bad clip and everything you've done bad together in a compilation, and it destroyed you. And it should have. It shouldn't have even taken that. Like, it's not. There's no extra context needed for bullying and torturing children.
120-minute video. Cody and Emma's biological mother showed it to someone and got an emergency custody order, and then they were removed at their school.
Police came and they took him.
And they're filming it. They get to film this. They still get to make money off their kids even being removed.
They take him to Rose. They can't do that.
Yeah, they can. They did.
Doing it.
You don't get to cry after you destroyed your children. I hate people like this.
Very traumatizing. People were showing up to my house. They were making death threats. It was a very terrifying experience.
Stupid prank! Yeah. I ought to break your camera right now!
That's kid's not acting, by the way. That kid's that angry.
Jake, thanks for being here.
Of course.
Now, you say that outrage grew over these videos, but that these videos were skits, right?
Yes, sir. A lot of them.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They were not skits.
Were improvised, but the majority of them were scripted, yes.
Yeah.
No.
But it looks like a lot of the emotions that came out were pretty genuine.
I think some of the emotions could have been getting so far.
I think if I'm not mistaken, this guy now actually still supports his dad, his stepdad and mom, and like they want to continue doing YouTube and stuff. I don't think this kid thinks anything was wrong. If you get a chance to watch my DaddyOFive video, go watch them, or watch any video that's been done about them. It'll break your heart. It'll piss you off, and you can't believe they had any kids ever left over in that house. It is absolutely the most insane thing you've ever seen, and this guy is going to bat for that.
Far into improvising the videos, honestly, because it's happened to me, and when you're filming a 40-minute to hour-long video and it's a bunch of siblings, I definitely things would get hectic sometimes.
Hectic.
The little brother,
hectic.
He got focused on a lot, and so people did identify this particular sibling as kind of a troublemaker or annoyer, and he got a lot of hate, right?
Right.
And here are some examples of the so-called pranks at Jake's house.
And you brought it for a damn while.
And you're not getting on anything activity.
Good morning.
Imagine your parents like both tag teaming how much trouble you're in and just yelling at you on camera in a hotel.
Oh my.
Who's that? Jake, get off of him.
I'm getting in showers and stuff I didn't do.
Ah, what's wrong?
I
Hey, Ryan, you got some egg on your face.
I'm going to kill you.
Jake says you can't always believe what you see, and here's an example of his stepdad telling the youngest son to do some acting.
Here, have the broken skateboard like this. Right there. Okay, and you're gonna be laying on the ground. Cody, look, you're gonna be laying on the ground crying like you hurt your leg, okay? Hey, you gotta use some acting skills, all right? Just be crying and all that you broke your leg. As soon as you see her come out that door.
I don't know if this has actually been on the internet, but I think he probably brought this to Dr. Phil and said, here's an example brought by the stepdad to say, show Dr. Phil this so you can see. This is what he was probably said, I'll come in and show, but you have to show this.
Where you start crying that you hurt your leg, okay?
might need to wet my face because it's hard for me to cry.
No, don't worry about all that. Just be down on the ground and crying, okay?
So all this proves to me is that he doesn't do this very often. That's it. This one happened.
This wound up with somebody putting a lot of these things together. It got to Child Protective Services, and they came and took 2 of your step siblings out of the home.
Correct.
And the whole thing came unraveled.
Correct.
Okay. You think it was unfair?
I kind of weaned off the pranks just because it is a lesson that I had to learn just growing up through it. So,
what was the lesson?
Necessarily think
You think it was unfair?
I think that a lot of it was misunderstood. I don't necessarily think the removing of them was fair, just because it was done through a third
Once you ask, they'll probably think otherwise.
Party way that I wouldn't like to speak on, that wasn't directly them saying, hey, because of your videos, we're going to remove them. It was through a different way, and the media made it seem like they were removed because of our videos, but they actually weren't. So I don't think that it was fair, no.
Okay, well, they were removed for a reason. The videos just got people watching, and then they're like, okay, they're removed for other reasons. That makes it worse.
And the site came down?
Yes, DaddyOFive did get terminated.
Okay. You have a site now?
Yes.
And what kind of content are you doing?
I am a musician now. I do that kind of stuff, and I do everyday life, just every day what I do, who I am, just more personality. I kind of weaned off the pranks and stuff like that just because it is a lesson that I had to learn just growing up through it. So
what was the lesson?
My lesson was that you just can't put yourself out there and portray an image, because a lot of people will base you off that image that you put on the internet your whole entire life. Like it follows me to this day, you know. And when people have a misunderstanding of me when they meet me, because they're like, "Oh, I thought you were that guy on the internet, that crazy guy that was doing these pranks," and it's not who I am. So I don't want to.
So he's right, but don't forget he was a minor during this, and he was, he grew up on the channel. And now he looks back on it and he still says, oh, not a big deal. But what he's telling you is truth. And this is why you can't get informed consent from a kid. He just said, it follows me to this day. It's going to follow him forever. Whose fault is that? That's not his fault. That's his parents' fault. They took away his ability to consent to this thing that will affect him for the rest of his life. And that is exactly what is happening for all of these family vlogs. They are taking away the ability for these kids to have a future, to tell their own story, to not have their privacy put on the internet for everybody to watch for the rest of their lives. It will follow them forever because the internet is forever, and the parents don't give two shits about their kids' privacy or consent.
I don't want to portray myself with that anymore. I want to move on from it.
Yeah. And you see Seth and Christy doing this with their children. Mm-hmm. Are you concerned that their children will get typecast or?
I don't think so, because from what I saw on the screen, their content looks innocent. I definitely think that there's always a risk. There's always a risk in it. Just any words of advice to them is to just always take caution and always be careful what they put on the internet.
Yeah.
No, my advice to you is stop exploiting your children, because you're gross for doing it.
Because it can get...
They can spiral down fast.
Yeah. Jake says even after controversy, family tried to relaunch the channel.
Yeah.
And it didn't relaunch.
The Martin family is kind of the relaunch, but it's not the content it was before. It's just it's just everybody's day to day. We don't do any exciting. We don't really script things.
What? And see, that's the problem of what gets attention on the internet. Mm-hmm. It's just like the news. I always say about the news, it bleeds, it leads. People want to see the crash, and they're not going to watch the news if it's, today at Third and L, nothing happened. Nobody tunes into that. I would never do a reality show about my life, because it's like, come to work, go home, play tennis, fall asleep in my chair. Robin wakes me up, feeds me. I go back, fall asleep in my chair. I get up, do it again. Somebody comes over, we talk a little while, they go home. I mean, who's going to watch that? It's like watching paint dry. So you got to watch something. Right. People want more and more, and so it gets more extreme, right?
Right.
And that's the self-fulfilling prophecy. It gets worse and worse.
And it does, and they'll push it. And so this is what happens in a lot of family vloggers' content, is they push a boundary. This is Jacqueline and Ren is a perfect example of this. She posts an image or a still or a thumbnail of the kid with the phallic food in her hand, or drinking it or eating it, and that's what she uses. Why did that post get so many more views and saves and likes? Interesting. Let's do it again. Same thing with family vloggers who post, let's say, their kids going to the dentist, and the thumbnail is their kid literally with their mouth wide open in the dentist chair. Geez, why did that get so many more views? You can go, and you can visually just go to any family vlog, type in dentist or hospital or sick or hurt, and watch the view count boost on those things. They do that, and they were like, whoa, this works. And then they continue to do it. You overdid that one. Oh, let's do it again. Let's overdo it. And they overdo it, and then they have to keep pushing the boundary to make money because they keep losing views. And so they start clickbaiting, and they start doing more craziness, and they start exploiting more. Right? Oh, someone broke in our house this time and found our stalker and all this stuff. Like, not enough Nelsons. They're crashing and burning. And so they're starting to put up things like where they're like during the Maui fires. They absolutely capitalized on the Maui fires because they have nothing else. These people will continue to push the envelope. LaBrance, when there was the bushfire, that they said that they were near, and it was nowhere near them. It went and made national news that they got called out for that. They need to keep pushing a boundary because they can't make any more money, and they have to continue to lie and make up more salacious lies, basically, for views. And a lot of times it comes at the expense of the children, like their first period, their first kiss, this and that. Like they was shaving their legs for the first time. And it's the stuff that makes them the most money also is the stuff that caters to the predators the most, which is not a coincidence, everybody.
there are long-term impacts of publicity from posting your children. I mean, there's just no question about that.
I hate that little smug smile on her face.
When we get back.
What the hell is that? What the hell?
The author of Sharenting.
Using, kidding, violating
your children to post or not post. And is there a middle ground?
Legs in the cup.
Well, tonight the question is, should you monetize your children online and post as much as you can? You would say
hard no.
just not just no, but hell no, no. And you say if you
everybody, Meredith knows what she's talking about.
You're going to do it. You need to do it with some guidelines in mind. Protect the children. Reach before you parent shares and that bothers me, particularly if it involves children. People start doing radical things to try to jump those numbers up, which is hard to get to. And
he's talking about the threshold now, as we left off with the original video.
The thing that worries me is people start doing radical things to try to jump those numbers up.
Yep, like I just said.
Get there, and
they do. They go. Sometimes they go viral. Like, why did we go viral with this dentist video? My kid or birthing a baby on YouTube. They will. They're like, oh my gosh, you never know when you're going to go viral. The biggest videos I've ever done are obviously the Micah stuff. Also opening a bag of milk. It's like 1.4 million views on my channel. You never know what's going to hit. And when it does hit, you have no choice but to continue it.
Bothers me, particularly if it involves children. And you heard me quote some statistics earlier. And the average parent shares at least 1,500 photos by the time a child is 5 years old.
That's crazy.
And you got to think about that because, as I said, there are a lot of predators out there. And as you mentioned, Leah, with AI, if they have an image of your child, they can have that child doing
whatever they want, anything they want.
And then people see it and they don't realize that's not your child. Leah says even exchanging text and email information about kids is Well, I hope this has made you think. And if you don't think that pictures that you're putting out there can and will get hijacked, you need to think again. Like Leah says, even if you're doing this privately, they're not that hard to get to. And you just need to be cognizant of the fact that those pictures can be misused. And even the ones that you're putting up, like I said, you got 32 million men looking at 5,000 accounts.
They don't give a shit. It looks like they give a shit. Look at this guy's haircut.
With children's pictures in them, which is kind of creepy. So you need to really think about how you're presenting your children when you put them out there. And you shouldn't have to do that, but that's the world we live in.
It is.
All of you just need to think about that. So when we put something out there and we don't know who's looking at it, how they're using it, or what they're going to do with it, we just have to do our own safeguards and be careful what we're doing. And the thing that gets me thinking is you're posting this for people to look at that you don't know from Adam. What do you care whether they see it or those are for you?
Yeah. Well, they say it's for them. It's not for
your family, not for somebody
it's for
in
money.
Florida or Oregon or something. You don't know them. But somehow or another, we get this dopamine high from clicks and likes and hearts and people saying, you know, how cute they are. You already know that. You don't need some stranger telling you how cute your child is. And you need to be concerned of them thinking they're too cute. That's what I'm saying. Just be aware. We're out of time. I want to thank all of my guests tonight. A special thanks to Leah Plunkett, author of Sharenting. It's worth a look. It will give you some information and make you think about what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's not just a cautionary tale. It has some good suggestions and how-tos in it. Look, we're creating a destination network at Meredith Street Media.
Okay, cool. There you go. Excellent show. Thanks to Dr. Phil for doing that, and Meredith for going on there, and that crazy family who blocked me. Maybe I did message him. Maybe I did. I've messaged a lot. But yeah, whatever. They're on there with their little smiles. My haircut. I don't care. There's 32 million men watching my channel. These people are bananas. Dr. Phil is bringing lots of exposure, needed exposure to this topic. This is something we've been talking about for almost 4 years, coming this May. This month. This is 4 years I've been doing this. Okay? And in that 4 years, we have come so far in this conversation. Thank God. Right? Thank God there are people out there who talk about it. Meredith, you got Mom Uncharted, you got a lot of people, TikTok Advocate, lots of people are coming out and talking. Now Dr. Phil, lots of people are talking about it. It's great. And I'm not, you're talking about it before me. I'm not saying I'm the main guy, but I'm in this conversation with everybody else and I love it. I love that these people are getting called out. And these people thought they'd go on here and look good about their argument. None of them have a good argument. There's no salient argument I've ever heard from any family vlogger or anybody for that matter that could ever justify exploiting children on the internet. Nothing ever once have I heard something that's like compelling in any way whatsoever. Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. Never once. They have nothing. These children are vulnerable, have always been vulnerable, and they're the most vulnerable of our society. And these parents are not doing anything to protect them. On the contrary, they are putting them in danger and they know it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it or whatever. Take a deep breath. These buttholes. Stop watching them, okay? Stop giving them your social media currency. Spread videos like Dr. Phil's, like mine, like Mom Uncharted, everybody else. Start talking to people about this. Get it more out there in the conversations. A lot of students reach out to me. They're doing their papers and their thesis on this stuff, and I love it. This is what needs to happen. Laws need to be made. I'm sorry. If you just did your damn job as parents and protected your kids like you're supposed to, it wouldn't take the government having to step in. But you brought this on yourself, you bunch of buttholes. But you're not a butthole. You're nice. You're amazing. Incredible. And you're right. Don't you forget it. Protect your kids, okay? Someone has a crush on you. I will see you when I see you.
You just come running by.